Most of us grow up believing that if we simply follow our doctor's advice, we'll know everything we need to stay healthy as we age. But here's the truth. When it comes to senior nutrition, there are things that many doctors simply don't talk about. Not because they don't care, but because the healthcare system is often focused on treating illness, not preventing it. So today, let's pull back the curtain. Let's explore the hidden truths about nutrition for seniors that you might not hear in the doctor's office, but could make a huge difference in your health, energy, and independence. Take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin. Point 1. The silent problem of malnutrition in seniors. Did you know that malnutrition is one of the most common health problems in older adults? You might assume that malnutrition only happens to people who don't have enough food, but in reality, even seniors who eat 3 meals a day can still be malnourished. Here's why. As we age, our bodies absorb nutrients less efficiently. For example, vitamin B12, essential for brain function and energy, becomes harder for the stomach to process after age 60. Calcium and vitamin D, both critical for strong bones, are often underabsorbed as well. Doctors may run blood tests occasionally, but unless you specifically ask, these deficiencies are often missed. And the signs like fatigue, memory lapses, brittle nails, or muscle weakness can easily be mistaken for just old age. So the first hidden truth is this. Many seniors are living with silent malnutrition even when they think they're eating enough. It's not just about how much you eat, it's about what your body can actually use. Point 2. The protein gap no one talks about. Most doctors will tell you to eat balanced meals, but very few explain that seniors often need more protein than younger adults. Why? Because as we age, our bodies naturally lose muscle mass, a condition called sarcopenia. Studies show that adults over 65 need at least 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. That's more than the standard recommendation for younger adults. Yet, many seniors are eating less protein, sometimes just a small piece of toast for breakfast or a bowl of soup for dinner. Here's the danger. Without enough protein, the body breaks down muscle faster. That leads to weakness, higher risk of falls, slower recovery from illness, and even a shorter lifespan. And yet, very few doctors emphasize this point in routine checkups. They might say, eat healthy, but they rarely break it down into, you need at least 70 to 80 grams of protein per day if you weigh 70 kilograms. That practical guidance is often missing. So the second truth is this. Seniors need to prioritize protein not just for strength, but for independence, mobility, and longevity. Point 3. Hydration, the hidden danger. Many seniors don't realize that dehydration is one of the most common and dangerous health risks as we age. Why? Because the sense of thirst becomes weaker with age. In other words, by the time you feel thirsty, your body may already be dehydrated. Doctors often check blood pressure, sugar, or cholesterol, but hydration is rarely discussed in detail. Yet mild dehydration can cause confusion, dizziness, constipation, urinary tract infections, and even increase the risk of falls. Here's something surprising. Research shows that nearly 40% of older adults admitted to hospitals are dehydrated when they arrive, and often they didn't even know it. Water is not the only solution. Soups, herbal teas, fruits like watermelon or oranges, and even vegetables such as cucumbers all contribute to hydration. But drinking enough plain water throughout the day remains essential. So, the third truth is this. Hydration is more than just a comfort. It's a life-saving practice that too many seniors and even their doctors underestimate. Point 4. The myth of low-fat diets for seniors. For years, low-fat diets were promoted as the gold standard for heart health. Many doctors still repeat this advice.
But what they often don't mention is that not all fats are bad, and in fact, healthy fats are critical for senior nutrition. The brain is nearly 60% fat, and it needs omega-3 fatty acids to function well. Without enough healthy fats, memory can decline faster, mood disorders can worsen, and inflammation may increase. Foods like salmon, sardines, walnuts, flax seeds, olive oil, and avocados provide the type of fats that support both brain and heart health. On the other hand, highly processed trans fats, like those found in packaged snacks or fried fast foods, are the ones that truly damage arteries. Here's another thing doctors may not emphasize. Older adults often absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K less efficiently. These vitamins protect vision, bone strength, blood clotting, and immunity. Without enough healthy fat in the diet, those vitamins simply don't get absorbed. So the fourth truth is this: seniors should not fear fat. They should fear the wrong kind of fat. Embracing healthy fats is one of the smartest nutritional strategies for aging well.
Point 5. The overlooked role of fiber. Most people know fiber is good for digestion, but what many seniors don't realize is just how essential it is for overall health. Fiber is like a natural broom for your digestive system. It keeps things moving, reduces constipation, and supports gut health. But here's the hidden truth. Fiber also plays a powerful role in controlling blood sugar, lowering cholesterol, and even reducing the risk of colon cancer. Doctors may remind patients to eat more vegetables, but they rarely explain just how critical fiber becomes after age 60. Older adults need at least 25 to 30 grams of fiber daily. That's the equivalent of several cups of vegetables, whole grains like oats or brown rice, and fruits like pears or apples. Yet surveys show that most seniors consume less than half that amount. Without enough fiber, digestion slows down, toxins build up, and energy levels drop. Over time, the lack of fiber can lead to more serious problems than just constipation. So the fifth truth is this: fiber isn't just about regular bowel movements. It's about protecting your heart, your blood sugar, and even your long-term independence. Point 6. Hidden sugar in everyday foods. We often think of sugar as candy, soda, or desserts. But here's what doctors rarely emphasize. Sugar is hiding everywhere: in bread, flavored yogurt, pasta sauces, breakfast cereals, and even so-called healthy granola bars. Why does this matter for seniors? Because as we age, our bodies become more resistant to insulin, making it harder to control blood sugar. Even small amounts of hidden sugar can push blood sugar levels too high, increasing the risk of diabetes, weight gain, and inflammation. And the scary part? Many seniors who are told to watch their sugar only think about sweets. They don't realize that their morning yogurt or their afternoon sandwich may contain several teaspoons of added sugar without them even knowing it. Here's an example. A single flavored yogurt cup can contain as much sugar as a candy bar. A slice of store-bought bread can have up to 3 grams of sugar. Multiply that over a day, and you've already exceeded the recommended limit. So the sixth truth is this: sugar is sneaky, and unless you learn to read labels carefully, you might be consuming far more of it than you ever imagined. Point 7. The truth about supplements. Walk into any pharmacy and you'll see shelves full of vitamins and supplements. Multivitamins, fish oil, calcium pills, herbal capsules. The list goes on. Seniors, more than any other age group, are the biggest consumers of supplements. But here's the truth. Doctors don't always have time to guide patients on which supplements are truly necessary. As a result, many seniors either take too little or waste money on pills that don't help. For example, vitamin D is one supplement most seniors actually need, especially if they don't get much sun. Calcium may also be important for bone health, but only when combined with vitamin D, magnesium, and regular movement. On the other hand, some supplements can be harmful when taken in excess. Too much iron, for example, can damage the liver. Too much vitamin A can increase the risk of fractures. The hidden danger is that supplements are not regulated as strictly as prescription drugs. That means quality can vary widely. Some brands contain fillers or even lower amounts of nutrients than advertised. So, the seventh truth is this: supplements are not a magic bullet. They can help, but they must be chosen carefully, ideally with guidance from a knowledgeable health professional, not just advertising on a bottle. Point 8. Medications can steal nutrients. By age 65, many adults are taking at least 3 to 5 different prescription medications daily. These drugs save lives, but they often come with a hidden cost: nutrient depletion. For example, common acid reflux medications can reduce the absorption of vitamin B12 and magnesium. Cholesterol-lowering drugs like statins can deplete coenzyme Q10, which is critical for energy and heart function. Diuretics, often prescribed for blood pressure, can wash potassium and magnesium out of the body. The result? Seniors may start experiencing fatigue, muscle cramps, memory problems, or irregular heartbeats, not realizing these issues are partly due to nutrient loss from their medications. So, the eighth truth is this: medications can heal, but they can also steal. Understanding this connection is vital for protecting long-term health.
Point 9. The importance of meal timing. Doctors often say, eat 3 balanced meals a day, but they rarely go deeper into the importance of meal timing for seniors. As we age, metabolism slows down, blood sugar control becomes weaker, and digestion can be less efficient. That means long gaps without food or eating large meals late at night can actually strain the body. For example, skipping breakfast might cause low energy and dizziness, making falls more likely. Eating a heavy dinner right before bed can lead to indigestion, poor sleep, and even nighttime acid reflux. On the other hand, spreading meals and snacks throughout the day, such as a protein-rich breakfast, a fiber-filled lunch, a light afternoon snack, and an early dinner, helps stabilize blood sugar, maintain energy, and improve digestion. Research shows that seniors who eat most of their calories earlier in the day often have better weight management and sleep quality than those who eat heavily at night. So the ninth truth is this: meal timing matters. Eating smaller, balanced meals at regular intervals is often healthier than sticking to 3 large meals, or worse, skipping them altogether. Point 10. The gut-brain connection. Doctors often say digestion and brain health are 2 separate issues, but science shows they are closely linked. This relationship is known as the gut-brain axis. Inside your digestive system lives trillions of bacteria, collectively called the gut microbiome. When these bacteria are in balance, they produce chemicals that improve mood, sharpen memory, and even reduce inflammation. But when the gut microbiome is out of balance, often because of poor diet, too much sugar, or frequent antibiotics, it can increase the risk of depression, anxiety, and even dementia. Here's what makes this powerful. Seniors who eat more fiber-rich foods, probiotics like yogurt or kefir, and prebiotics such as garlic, onions, and bananas often show better cognitive function than those with a poor gut diet. In other words, caring for your gut is also caring for your brain. So the 10th truth is this: the health of your stomach and intestines is directly tied to the health of your memory, mood, and overall brain function. Ignore your gut, and you may unknowingly be harming your mind.
Point 11. The role of taste and appetite changes. As we grow older, our senses of taste and smell naturally weaken. Food that once tasted flavorful may suddenly seem bland. Medications, dry mouth, or reduced saliva production can also make eating less enjoyable. Doctors might acknowledge loss of appetite as a normal part of aging, But what they often don't mention is the danger behind it. A reduced appetite can quickly lead to nutrient deficiencies, unintentional weight loss, and frailty. Here's the hidden truth. Many seniors aren't eating less because they want to, but because food no longer excites them. And when meals feel like a chore, it's easier to skip them or to choose quick, processed options that lack nutrition. One solution is to enhance flavors naturally, using herbs, spices, lemon juice, or healthy marinades instead of relying on excess salt or sugar. Another is to focus on nutrient-dense, small meals, rather than forcing down large plates of food. So, the 11th truth is this. Changes in taste and appetite are not just inconvenient, they can be dangerous. Recognizing this and adjusting meals creatively is key to staying nourished. Point 12. The danger of eating alone. Doctors rarely bring this up in a medical exam, but loneliness at mealtime can have a direct impact on nutrition. Seniors who live or eat alone are more likely to skip meals, eat less, or choose convenience foods instead of preparing balanced plates. Research shows that older adults who regularly eat alone have higher rates of malnutrition, depression, and even faster cognitive decline compared to those who share meals. Why? Because meals are more than just fuel. They're also social experiences that stimulate the mind and body. Think about it. When you share food with family or friends, you tend to cook better meals, eat more variety, and feel more satisfied. But when you're by yourself, it's easy to just microwave something quick or not bother at all. So, the 12th truth is this. Nutrition is not only about nutrients, it's also about connection. Eating with others can improve appetite, mood, and overall health in ways that a doctor's prescription never could.
Point 13. The truth about dairy and bone health. For decades, we've been told that dairy is the secret to bone health. And yes, milk, cheese, and yogurt do contain calcium. But what most doctors don't explain is that calcium alone isn't enough to protect your bones as you age. Bones are like a team. They need multiple players to stay strong. Calcium is one, but vitamin D, vitamin K2, and magnesium are equally important. Without these, calcium can end up in the wrong places, like arteries, instead of strengthening bones. For example, seniors in some cultures consume very little dairy, but have lower rates of osteoporosis. Why? Because they get calcium from leafy greens, beans, nuts, and fish with edible bones, along with sunlight exposure and physical activity. So the 13th truth is this: while dairy can be part of a bone-healthy diet, it's not the only answer. Real bone strength comes from a combination of calcium, vitamin D, vitamin K2, and magnesium, and most importantly, regular weight-bearing exercise. Point 14. The impact of highly processed foods. Today, grocery store shelves are packed with convenience foods, instant noodles, frozen dinners, packaged snacks, and sugary drinks. They're cheap, fast, and easy. But here's what many seniors don't realize. These foods are often stripped of real nutrition and loaded with salt, sugar, and unhealthy fats. Doctors may tell patients to watch their diet, but they often underestimate just how much processed food sneaks into daily life. A slice of packaged bread, a can of soup, a frozen pizza. Each might seem harmless, but over time they add up to excess sodium, preservatives, and empty calories. The result? Higher blood pressure, weight gain, inflammation, and a higher risk of heart disease. Here's the hidden danger. Many seniors rely on these foods because they're easy to prepare, especially when cooking feels tiring. But the price we pay in health is much greater than the minutes saved in the kitchen. So the 14th truth is this: processed foods may fill your stomach, but they don't truly nourish your body. Choosing more whole, fresh, and simple ingredients, even in small amounts, makes a huge difference in long-term health.
Point 15. The role of spices and anti-inflammatory foods. When people think about nutrition, they often picture big food groups: proteins, carbs, vegetables. But what's often overlooked are the little things that make a huge impact: spices and herbs. For seniors, chronic inflammation is a hidden enemy. It's linked to arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, and even Alzheimer's disease. Doctors usually prescribe medication to reduce inflammation, but rarely do they mention the foods that naturally fight it. Turmeric, for example, contains curcumin, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound. Ginger helps with digestion and joint pain. Garlic supports heart health. Cinnamon helps balance blood sugar. Even simple green tea is packed with antioxidants that calm inflammation. The beauty is, these foods are easy to add. Sprinkle turmeric into soups, brew ginger tea, or toss garlic into stir-fries. They don't just add flavor, they protect your body from the inside out. So the 15th truth is this: food can be medicine. The right herbs and spices are not just seasonings, they are natural protectors against aging and disease. Point 16. The connection between sleep and nutrition. Doctors often separate sleep problems from diet. If you can't sleep, they may prescribe medication or suggest relaxation techniques. But here's what they rarely mention: what you eat has a direct impact on how well you sleep. Caffeine, alcohol, and heavy meals late at night can disrupt sleep cycles. On the other hand, foods rich in magnesium, like nuts, seeds, and leafy greens, can help the body relax. Tryptophan-rich foods, such as turkey, eggs, and yogurt, can naturally promote melatonin production, which regulates sleep. Even blood sugar balance matters. Seniors who eat sugary snacks or refined carbs late at night often experience restless sleep, waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. because their blood sugar crashes. Poor sleep then creates a vicious cycle. It increases cravings for junk food, lowers energy for exercise, and weakens immunity. So the 16th truth is this: good sleep starts on your plate. What you eat during the day can determine whether you wake up refreshed or exhausted.
Point 17. The underestimated power of movement and nutrition together. Most seniors hear advice like, eat well or stay active. But rarely do doctors emphasize how these two work hand in hand. Here's the truth: without proper nutrition, exercise can't do its job. And without movement, nutrients can't work as effectively in the body. For example, calcium and vitamin D help strengthen bones, but without weight-bearing exercise like walking or light resistance training, bones don't get the signal to actually stay strong. Protein helps repair muscles, but without using those muscles, the protein goes to waste. Even circulation improves with movement, which means the nutrients you eat are delivered more effectively to every cell in your body. So the 17th truth is this: food and movement are partners. They amplify each other's benefits, and together they build the foundation for independence and vitality in older age. Point 18. Individual needs versus one-size-fits-all advice. Doctors often give broad advice: eat more vegetables, limit salt, stay hydrated. While this is helpful, It doesn't address the fact that each person's body, medical history, and lifestyle are unique. For instance, a senior with kidney disease may need to limit potassium, even though bananas and spinach are usually considered healthy. Someone with diabetes needs to pay close attention to carbohydrates, while another senior with low appetite might need calorie-dense foods to avoid weight loss. Yet, in most appointments, there isn't enough time to personalize nutrition advice. As a result, many seniors try to follow generic rules that may not actually work for their situation. The truth is, nutrition isn't one size fits all. What nourishes one person could harm another. That's why seeking individualized guidance, whether from a dietitian, nutritionist, or even careful self-observation, is so important. So the 18th truth is this: your body has its own story, and your nutrition should be tailored to fit it, not squeezed into a general guideline. Point 19. Emotional eating and food as comfort. As we age, food isn't just about nutrition, it's also about comfort, memory, and coping. Many seniors turn to sweets, fried foods, or favorite childhood meals during times of loneliness, boredom, or stress. Doctors may warn against high sugar or fatty foods, but they often overlook the emotional reasons behind why seniors choose them. For example, a cookie may not just be a cookie. It might represent comfort, nostalgia, or a small joy in a quiet day. Here's the problem. When emotional eating becomes routine, it can lead to weight gain, diabetes, or heart problems. But ignoring the emotional side of food only makes the issue worse. The healthier approach is not to eliminate comfort foods completely, but to balance them. That could mean enjoying a small treat occasionally, while also introducing healthier comfort foods, like warm homemade soups, herbal teas, or fruit-based desserts. So, the 19th truth is this: nutrition is emotional as much as physical. Understanding the why behind food choices is just as important as the food itself. Point 20. Prevention versus treatment. Doctors are trained to treat disease once it shows up, but what they don't always emphasize is how powerful nutrition is in preventing disease before it even begins. Think about it. Diabetes, heart disease, osteoporosis, memory decline. So many of the conditions that affect seniors can be slowed or even prevented with the right diet. Yet most doctor visits are focused on prescribing medications, not discussing how to use food as medicine. The healthcare system is designed to react after something goes wrong, but nutrition is proactive. It's about giving your body the tools it needs today so you can avoid bigger problems tomorrow. So, the 20th and final truth is this: prevention through nutrition is the strongest medicine you have, and it's in your hands every single day. We've just uncovered 20 powerful truths about senior nutrition. Truths that many doctors simply don't have the time, or sometimes the training, to explain in detail. From the silent problem of malnutrition to the protein gap, hydration, healthy fats, the importance of fiber, the dangers of hidden sugar, and the often overlooked effects of supplements and medications. From the role of meal timing, the gut-brain connection, appetite changes, and the impact of loneliness at the table, all the way to bone health, processed foods, the healing power of spices, the connection between sleep and diet, and finally, the importance of prevention over treatment. Each of these truths points to one simple message: what you eat every day shapes not just your health, but also your independence, your energy, and your quality of life. Doctors can prescribe pills, and yes, medicine has its place, but food is the one medicine you take 3 times a day or more. And unlike prescriptions, it comes with no side effects, only benefits when chosen wisely. So, my challenge to you is this. Take one or two of these truths and put them into practice today. Maybe it's drinking an extra glass of water. Maybe it's adding an extra serving of vegetables. Maybe it's sharing a meal with someone you care about. Because small steps add up, and over time, they create big results. Remember, aging doesn't mean decline. With the right nutrition, it can mean strength, clarity, and vitality. So take charge of your plate, take charge of your health, and most importantly, take charge of your future. Thank you for listening, and may every meal you enjoy bring you one step closer to the healthy, fulfilling life you deserve.